Keith Falls near the Richland Creek campground in the Ozark National Forest, one of the lesser-known waterfalls in this area, and it's where we begin this week's show. Then we'll take you to Arkansas Post National Memorial near Gillette, site of Arkansas's only Revolutionary War battle, and we'll close it out with a float trip down Wattensaw Bayou near Hazen. So now let's explore some of the less frequented waterfalls near the Richland Creek campground area. To get to Keith Falls, look for Forest Road 1205 off Highway 16 south of Ben Hur. Take it for a little over 6 miles until you spot a trail going up a hill. It's an easy to moderate hike, about half a mile. This is one of those falls that you come upon in the wilderness that you least expect and is quite rewarding when you do reach it. We were fortunate this day to have as our guide Terry Keith, the person who this 80-foot tall waterfall is named after by outdoor field guide author Tim Ernst.
Unofficially, it was nice of Tim to do that. We hiked back in here several years ago, and he said one day I'll do a waterfall book and name one after you. And I thought, yeah, right, Tim, but you know, it's good for his word. He went ahead and did it. I appreciated it. He sent me a book several years ago with the waterfall in it. It was the first I knew about it. It's a nice gesture on his part.
Being an avid waterfall explorer, Keith talked with us about the technique of discovering waterfalls in the wilderness.
What I've done over the years is whenever I paddled or just backpacked, I just take quad sheets and go up some of these little smaller canyons that showed some good topography. And sometimes you came up with a nice waterfall, sometimes you came up with just a steep walk up a dry canyon, but you know, you find a lot of them that way. So I spend a lot of time doing that. And, they're all over the Ozarks. You just have to look them, you know, look for them, look them out.
So usually when you find a stream and you follow it, you say usually at somewhere at the beginning of it there might be a waterfall.
A lot of times there is, you know. And like I say, there's a lot of times that you just end up walking up a steep creek. There's a big watershed right over the top of this mountain called Bobtail Creek that runs down into Richland, and I've walked it from the very tip top all the way down, and it drops off about 125 feet a mile and never a waterfall on it, you know. And you'd think it'd be full of them, but it really isn't. So you just kind of have to hit the right thing. If you're lucky, you can hit some shale like this, you know, when you see these bluffs, you know you're getting pretty close to one. And they just have to come across these bluff lines.
Of course, when you go exploring for waterfalls is critical. Timing it after a good rainfall is important. Our next falls area is only about a quarter of a mile south on Forest Road 1205 along Falling Water Creek. The slide, as Keith calls it, is also quite popular with kayakers when it's running good. It's also called Six Finger Falls due to all the mini falls outcroppings. To reach the other falls in this area, you'll first have to cross Falling Water Creek, which can be a bit tricky on the slippery rocks. About a couple hundred yards or so downstream off to the left, you'll notice 2 tall bluff lines with the stream flowing between them. Just follow that stream and it'll take you to this waterfall. Being very much secluded and hidden deep into a crevice, this entire setting is very peaceful and very picturesque. This is also the ideal swimming hole with the average water depth at 6 to 8 feet. Our final waterfall on this trip is actually the first one you'll come upon taking Forest Road 1205 from Highway 16, Falling Water Falls on Falling Water Creek. This too is a favorite falls area with kayakers during high water who enjoy the thrill of going over them. Also, another popular swimming hole as well. With more and more people finding out about falls areas like these, Keith stressed to us his concern regarding conservation and preservation.
You know, there's kind of good and bad on all this. When I first found this and some other ones I'll take you to, there weren't any trails into it, weren't any paths into it. And you come up now and walk up to these, and this is kind of a muddy path into here, and it tends to break down those slopes, especially the north-facing ones, and where there's a lot of moisture in them. And the same going up to Twin Falls and Richland Falls on Richland Creek out of the campground there. It destroys the vegetation pretty bad. It's hard, you know, the places are there and people are going to get there, but they need to try to be careful and not tear anything up as best they can. Up until relatively recently, you could get back in here and get away from everybody. It's a little busier now. You know, we see folks back in the woods that we used to not see, but there's still some pretty secret places back in these hills that folks don't know about.
This is the way the earliest explorers first saw what was to become Arkansas Post, from the bow of a canoe.
Exactly. The rivers were the highway, and that's how the Native Americans traveled. And in fact, when Marquette and Joliet first came to the mouth of the Arkansas River, they were greeted with several dozen canoes filled with Quapaw warriors. Fortunately, they'd been told by tribes upriver to hold up the calumet as a peace symbol, and so that the Quapaw would know that they came in peace. And they held up the calumet, and so the Quapaw greeted them and invited them to paddle over to their shore and to their villages. And just a few years later, La Salle and Henri de Tonty would get the same greeting, and they too came in canoes and were met by Quapaw and found them very receptive to establishing a trade relationship with the French. And so they built Arkansas Post next to one of the Quapaw villages.
And I guess the other mode of transportation was by keelboat.
Right, the keelboats came along in the 1700s and were used up even after steamboats came along, because they were very practical boats. A keelboat was the 18-wheeler of its day. It could carry as much as an 18-wheeler truck, maybe even more. They could be anywhere from 40 to 80 feet long, and they weren't that wide, so they could still get in bayous like this one. And the best thing about them was that they could be poled, or they could be paddled, they could be rowed, and they could be sailed like a sailboat. And so you had ways to go upstream and downstream.
Settled by the French in 1686, the remote post de Arkansas was the first permanent European colony in the lower Mississippi River Valley. The French, being Catholic, constructed crosses at the post. The post played a valuable role in the long struggle between France, Spain, and England for dominance of the lucrative fur trade.
People forget that this area was settled by fur traders, by hunters and trappers. Contrary to popular opinion, farmers didn't settle Arkansas. The fur trade came first, and it ruled for over 100 years. And even after farmers came to begin colonizing the area and settling in the new part of the United States, fur trapping continued to be the way to put money in their pockets, because many of the farmers barely grew enough to support themselves, much less bring in some cash to buy other things with. But through the fur trade, even through the 1940s, my father, as a child, earned pocket money and money for his family through hunting raccoon and other small mammals and selling them at a local Steinberg's in town.
The role of Arkansas Post actually spans 300 years in shaping American history. In 1783, Colbert's Raid took place, which was not only the last battle of the American Revolution on American soil, but also Arkansas's only Revolutionary War event.
Fire! Search, peace!
Colbert was a British loyalist, and he gathered a few other British partisans in Chickasaw and marched over to what is today Arkansas Post National Memorial. Fort Carlos III was the Spanish fort there. They took hostages from some of the nearby homes and shot a couple of the soldiers at Fort Carlos. And after firing the cannons at Colbert's men, they finally decided just to make a big noise and run out the gate and scare them off, and it worked. Colbert and the British ran away.
After Arkansas Post became a part of the United States following the Louisiana Purchase, in 1819 it was selected as the first capital of the new Arkansas Territory, and has often been referred to as the birthplace of Arkansas. What you might say was the decline of Arkansas Post happened during the Civil War. In 1863, Union troops destroyed Fort Heiman at the post, ensuring control of the Arkansas River. In the post-Civil War years, declining river traffic and railroads undermined its importance as a port. Today, Arkansas Post National Memorial is a pristine habitat for hundreds of aquatic plant and animal species, and a great way to explore it all is to take advantage of one of the bayou floats that are offered in the spring and fall. From the beginning, it was the European trappers and hunters, along with Quapaw Indians, who were drawn to this area because of its plentiful wildlife. And today, Arkansas Post still offers excellent opportunities for wildlife viewing.
Lots of wildlife, and it does change seasonably. Of course, we get a lot of waterfowl in here during the fall who stay through the winter, and we also have hawks and eagles that come into the area in the fall and stay through the winter months as well. And then in the spring, we have a whole different group that arrive with the spring migrants. Prothonotary warblers and many other songbirds come in the springtime, and so depending on what month you come, you should come back about 3 to 6 months later and you'll see maybe a whole different population here.
Some of that population you may come upon is the American alligator. Once on the brink of extinction, it has made a comeback in Arkansas. In fact, dozens of alligators reside at Arkansas Post, a few of which are 14 feet or more in length, so careful not to get too close. Wildlife management areas have, of course, been very popular with hunters and anglers, but not so much so with those who carry a paddle instead of a gun or a fishing rod. Well, the Game and Fish Commission wants to change all that with the Arkansas Water Trail program, such as here on Wattensaw Bayou near Hazen. Wattensaw Bayou is located in the Wattensaw Wildlife Management Area north of Interstate 40 off Highway 11.
Historically, we've had hunters and anglers hit our WMAs, but this is a great opportunity, Arkansas Water Trails, to get a different group out here. We have over 90,000 miles of river streams and bayous in Arkansas, and many of those are in our WMAs, and we're really excited to get a new group out here enjoying the outdoors with a paddle and a boat.
Floating in a canoe or kayak provides a wonderful opportunity and an extra added advantage in viewing wildlife.
The neat thing about wildlife watching from a boat is it's really easy to ease up on wildlife. When we're hiking, we're walking through dry leaves, and the wildlife may be gone before we know it. From a boat, you can get up on a great blue heron or a bald eagle, and it's because we're so quiet in a boat, so it's a really unique way to watch wildlife.
Wattensaw Bayou is going to make a good trail. It's about 7 miles, I think, down to the mouth where the White River is, and today you can see nice flooding we've got out here. This is all backed up from the White River, so we're going to get a lot of variety of experiences here. Sometimes there'll be a nice current, and then sometimes it'll be nice backwater conditions like this where you don't have to stay on the trail. You can go out and play in the trees if you want to. So this is going to be a good addition, and its designation will attract a lot of deserving attention to it.
We were talking with Kirsten earlier about, WMAs have notoriously for years and years been associated with hunting and fishing. Well, I think it's about time that that was expanded to people that do carry a paddle.
Yeah, I agree completely. And there's always been a lot of people interested in these kinds of non-game activities, whether it's paddling or hiking or whatever it is, and paying attention to that interest and making these kinds of designations is only going to help that. So I'm very glad to see that, that this is happening out here.
The key to this program is the Game and Fish is looking for partners. We're looking for groups, volunteers that want to set up a water trail in their community. The Arkansas Canoe Club has been our partner on this trail, and they're the eyes and ears of our program. They get out, they check the trail, they maintain our access sites. So our website, www.agfc.com, has application materials to join the Game and Fish and get a water trail in your community.
This is a beautiful place, and it's so convenient to Little Rock. I mean, you know, people can come here, and I've seen owls, and actually saw coyotes running down the bank one day. Seen, of course, raccoons and all the water birds, great blue herons. I put in one day, and there was a barred owl sitting on a tree right above me, and he hooted at me. So. It actually has some pretty good flow in it after rains, and unlike a lot of other wetlands, swampy wetland areas, there are actually some highlands, some hills up in here that you can paddle up into. There's actually, it's not all flat, and but at the same time you get the big cypress trees. It's got, you know, huge trees that are unusual. The bases, the buttresses of the trees are like really huge, and it's one of the most scenic areas I've ever been in. I've paddled in Bayou de View and Cache River and down on the White River Wildlife Refuge. And the interesting thing about the wetlands in Arkansas is that every one is different. It has its own characteristics, and Wattensaw is very unusual, and it's very beautiful, and I've seen more wildlife here than just about anywhere else in eastern Arkansas. This is one of the sighting areas of the ivory-bill woodpecker, so if people are interested in that, it's a very easy place to get in.
It's hoped that by getting more people out to enjoy those areas they may not have considered going to in the past, that they'll also become involved in conservation and preservation efforts.
That's one of our main missions of this program, is getting folks involved with conservation, learning about our wildlife resources, getting involved, wanting to be an advocate for our resources. So that's what we're hoping to do with this. It also is healthy. It's good for us to get out and paddle. It's a good way to spend time with our families, wildlife watching, conservation, and also fishing. It's a great opportunity to get out and fish these areas.
A good book to have to assist you in wildlife viewing opportunities across the state is the Game and Fish Commission's Watchable Wildlife Guide.
It gives great locations to go view wildlife. It gives tips on when to go, directions on how to get there, what kind of wildlife you can see. So that's something you can get from our website, or you can visit one of our offices and pick up.
So grab yourself a paddle and a kayak and head on down the bayou, the Wattensaw Bayou near Hazen. And for more on this destination, plus many of our others, and to view our maps, or to order a copy of an episode, visit our website, aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.